Welcome to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast. In this podcast, I'll be previewing the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals and talking about the 2025 NHL Draft order. In this podcast, I'll be previewing the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals, talking about the scoring leaders in the postseason, and the updated draft order. The Stanley Cup Finals will be between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers. The Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers are set to rematch in the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals. They faced each other in last year's Stanley Cup Finals, where the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games to win their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. This would be the first Stanley Cup Finals rematch since 2008-2009, when the Pittsburgh Penguins faced the Detroit Red Wings. The Panthers closed out the Carolina Hurricanes after a 5-3 win in Game 5, whereas the Edmonton Oilers eliminated the Dallas Stars in 5 games after a 6-3 win to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Panthers beat the Oilers in both regular season matchups during the 24-25 season, outscoring them 10-8. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals is on Wednesday, June 4th at 8 p.m. on TNT. Key players in this matchup for Florida: forwards Alexander Barkov, Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, Carter Verhaeghe, Anton Lundell, and Brad Marchand. Key defensemen Gustav Forsling, Aaron Ekblad, Seth Jones, and Nico Mikkola. The X factor is Jesper Boqvist. Key forwards for Edmonton: Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Adam Henrique, Corey Perry, and Evander Kane. Key defensemen Evan Bouchard, Mattias Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, Jake Wallman, and John Klingberg. The X factor for Edmonton is Kasperi Kapanen. The goalie matchup in this series is Sergei Bobrovsky for Florida against Stuart Skinner for Edmonton. The Florida Panthers' key to success against the Edmonton Oilers revolve around defensive discipline, neutralizing McDavid, and capitalizing on special teams. The Panthers must limit Edmonton's speed, especially Connor McDavid's rushes. Sergei Bobrovsky needs to be sharp, as the Oilers thrive on high-danger chances. Physical play from Florida's defense can disrupt Edmonton's cycle game. Florida's forecheck pressure can force turnovers, but limiting Edmonton's transition game will be a key factor. Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Reinhart need to lead offensively, but depth scoring from Evan Rodriguez and Carter Verhaeghe will be key. Winning puck battles along the boards will help Florida control possession. Alexander Barkov is one of the best two-way centers in the league, and he will be tasked with slowing down McDavid. McDavid's speed and playmaking ability make him nearly unstoppable, but Barkov's defensive awareness could be a game changer. Bobrovsky has been a rock in goal for Florida, but he has struggled in recent games. Stuart Skinner, on the other hand, has played better and better as the playoffs have progressed, winning 5 of his last 6 starts. His ability to handle Florida's offensive pressure will be key. Matthew Tkachuk thrives in physical, high-energy games, making him a perfect foil for Leon Draisaitl. Gustav Forsling and Aaron Ekblad anchor Florida's D-core. They will be tasked with shutting down Edmonton's transition game. Edmonton's power play is lethal, so Florida must remain disciplined, and the Panthers' PK, which has been strong so far, will need to continue to be strong. But in saying so, they need to avoid unnecessary penalties. When the Panthers get a man advantage, they need to capitalize on their own power play opportunities. The Edmonton Oilers will need to focus on speed, special teams, and defensive stability to overcome the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals. Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, leading the Edmonton attack and pushing for his first Stanley Cup. Leon Draisaitl is also a dominant force, particularly on the power play, capable of taking over games as well. Evan Bouchard is a rising star on defense, contributing offensively while maintaining a strong presence in his own end. The Oilers thrive on quick puck movement led by McDavid and Draisaitl. However, the Oilers will be without Zach Hyman for the rest of the playoffs, so they will need other players in the lineup to step up offensively. They must exploit Florida's defense by creating odd-man rushes and forcing turnovers. Evan Bouchard's breakout passes will be crucial in setting up fast attacks. The Oilers have been great at generating offensive chances from their forecheck, which is caused by their overwhelming speed. The Oilers' defense, led by Darnell Nurse and Mattias Ekholm, must limit Florida's cycle game. John Klingberg and Jake Wallman have been a sneaky good pair and have become a steady presence on the team. Blocking shots and winning board battles will be key to slowing down Florida's attack. Stuart Skinner must be sharp, especially against Florida's net front presence. Edmonton's power play is elite, converting at 30% in the playoffs. They need to capitalize on Florida's aggressive PK and generate high danger chances. The penalty kill must neutralize Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Reinhart, who thrive on rebounds. The rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Finals should be an entertaining one, and it sets the stage for the Edmonton Oilers to avenge their loss from last year's finals. My prediction is that the Edmonton Oilers win the series 4-3. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at HockeyWiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/HockeyWiz777scouting. Team stats. The Florida Panthers have scored 66 goals for versus 39 goals against. That's 3.88 goals for per game versus 2.29 goals against per game. The Edmonton Oilers have scored 65 goals for versus 45 goals against. That's 4.06 goals for per game versus 2.81 goals against per game. The Edmonton Oilers have averaged 30.8 shots per game and have yielded 27 shots against per game, whereas the Florida Panthers have 27.1 shots per game and have yielded 24.2 shots against per game. On the man advantage, the Edmonton Oilers have a 30% rate, whereas Florida has a 23.2% success rate. On the penalty kill, Florida has killed off 87.9% of their penalties, but Edmonton has only killed off 66% of theirs. The Edmonton Oilers have won 48.4% of faceoffs, whereas Florida Panthers have won 45.6% of their faceoffs. The Edmonton Oilers are led in scoring by Connor McDavid, who has 26 points this postseason. Next is Leon Draisaitl with 25 points, then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 18, and Evan Bouchard with 17. Stuart Skinner is 6-4 with a 2.53 GAA and .904 save percentage and 3 shutouts. The leading scorer for the Florida Panthers is Alexander Barkov, who has 17 points. Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk both have 16 points apiece. Carter Verhaeghe and Brian Marchand both have 14 points apiece. Sam Reinhart and Eetu Luostarinen have 13 points apiece. Anton Lundell has 12 points, and Aaron Ekblad has 11. Sergei Bobrovsky is 12-5 with a 2.11 GAA and .912 save percentage and 3 shutouts this postseason. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at HockeyWiz777. Updated 2025 NHL Draft Order. Drafting first is the New York Islanders. Second, San Jose Sharks. Third, Chicago Blackhawks. Fourth, Utah Mammoth. Fifth, Nashville Predators. Sixth, Philadelphia Flyers. Seventh, Boston Bruins. Eighth, Seattle Kraken. Ninth, Buffalo Sabres. 10th, Anaheim Ducks. 11th, Pittsburgh Penguins. 12th, New York Rangers. 13th, Detroit Red Wings. 15th, Columbus Blue Jackets. 15th, Vancouver Canucks. 16th, Montreal Canadiens from Calgary. 17th, Montreal Canadiens. 18th, Calgary Flames from New Jersey. 19th, St. Louis Blues. 20th, Columbus Blue Jackets from Minnesota. 21, Ottawa Senators. 22, Philadelphia Flyers from Colorado. 23, Nashville Predators from Tampa Bay. 24, LA Kings. 25, Chicago Blackhawks from Toronto. 26, Nashville Predators from Vegas via San Jose. 27, Washington Capitals. 28, Winnipeg Jets. 29, Carolina Hurricanes. 30, Dallas Stars. Listen to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast on Podbean and Spotify. The Stanley Cup Finals promises to be an exciting one, and it will be interesting to see who comes out on top. In my next podcast, I will be doing a 2025 Stanley Cup Finals update.